Welcome to Loss of a Loved One. I'm your host, Tamika.
I'm your co-host, Erica.
How was your day today?
It's still going.
Look, right. And it should
It's
be
still
well
going.
past
And it should be
bedtime
well-
almost.
Yes, Friday nights I'm usually in my bed, laid up, watching some Tubi, Netflix, something, but
And
I
I
would
guess
rather
that's
be
like
here.
my favorite thing to ask now because you never really truly know how somebody's day is going. A lot of times we put on the facade and our day is not really what we say it is. It's actually pretend days for us who have lost a child, who have lost loved ones. A lot of times we do things to make other people feel okay when we're not really okay. So that's why I like to ask people how their day is going.
How was your day?
It's going. Hopefully bedtime soon. I'm ready for that one. Today we have Valerie on with us, and Valerie's gonna be telling her story about her son Adoniyah, who was killed in what year was that, Valerie?
2017.
2017. Actually, it was November, right? November of 2017.
November 17th, yes,
So
2017.
let's start with you telling us a little bit about yourself and then tell us about Adonai's story.
Alrighty, I am a mother of 5. I have lost 2 children. My first son I lost, he was 18 to gun violence. And then last year, going on 2 years, I lost my daughter in a car wreck. I am a grandmother of 12 and a great grandmother
Wow,
of
beautiful.
4.
Do you think that your grandchildren have helped you to cope with the loss of your children?
No, no, not really. Because and the reason why I say that because I think they are dealing with it as well.
Okay.
My son didn't have any children, but my daughter, she had 2. So she has 2 boys, so we're raising them. They're 10 and 12.
Okay.
So I think they are also dealing with the loss as well.
Okay. So tell us about Adonai's story the night and how you found out that he was no longer with us.
It was that morning I had me and my husband had got up. He was getting ready to go to work, and I had got up to go to the bathroom, and I have a problem with sleeping with the TV on, and the news was on, and I had heard that it was a shooting and a killing on Beale Street, which is a street over from me, and came back and got on my phone, put on Facebook, who got shot and killed since it was a street over, who got shot and killed on Beale Street, shaking my head, my condolences.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And so I want to say that was about 6:30, quarter to 7. My daughter, one of my daughters had came, my third oldest daughter, her name was Lanita, had came down, and we called my son, his name Adoniyah, but we would call him Puda. So when she came and knocked on the door, she came in, and the first thing she said was, "Mom, where Puda?" And it's just like that mother instinct. I knew it was my son.
That's amazing how your body will just tell you stuff like that. So how did you officially find out that it was in fact Puda?
Well, she had went on to say that someone had got in touch with my nephew, and they had told him that it was my son. And he had gotten murdered about I want to say about 2:30 that morning, but like I said, that was the time that we had found out. And we went around the corner, and it was still an active scene, and the detectives were still there, and they I went up there, and they asked me what was I doing there, and I went on and tell them that I heard that my son had got shot and killed, and they put me in their car, and they got to question me, asking me who my son, what was his name, and describe him. And then so my husband, he was standing outside, and at that time I was smoking, and I asked the officer, could I let my window down because I was smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
And I heard my husband ask the other detective, was it him? And he said, I heard him say, yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. So they never had officially told you that it was him. You just happened to hear them telling your husband that it was him.
Right. He had asked, yeah, because like I said, he had got killed about 2 or 2:30. This was 6 o'clock. So, but when my daughter when she came down here, she asked where he was. Like I said,
You already knew.
I already had that feeling that it was him.
So how much longer after that did you find out what had actually happened to him?
I want to say about 12 or 1 o'clock that afternoon. I really didn't get the fullness, because it's just awfully strange of how people would spread a lie quicker than they would spread the truth. So I really didn't know. Right, I really didn't know the fullness until I guess after they had did their investigation and the detectives had came over, and they had said that the gentleman that shot him, had basically called 911 and waited out there with him, and that he said that it was 2 or 3 guys in black that tried to rob him. So
oh man, so he wasn't truthful at first.
no. So I knew, like I said, that I knew my son, my son, he was a good boy. He was working, he was still in school. So that, him setting anybody up, him trying to rob, no.
Right.
And so that's when I had found out when the detectives got there, got to my home, exactly what had happened. They said that the gentleman was asleep on some opioids, Percocets, and he had took some that lean cough syrup or something. I guess it was a promethazine. That's what it was, promethazine cough syrup with codeine in it.
Okay.
And he had fallen asleep, and my son had basically came and knocked on his driver's side window, and I guess scared him, and he shot him straight through the driver's side window.
Was he someone that you guys knew?
Yes. Yes, he was actually the guy that killed my son and my son. They both have the same first cousins. My son was just with this gentleman about 10 o'clock that night.
It's like family. Yeah. So what are some things that you do now to try to cope with his loss, especially since you've also experienced another loss as well?
Well, I have learned that every death is different.
Definitely.
With my son, it was just like, why, what? It was so many, why didn't God take him? He was only 18, and you just have to pray, and then it's like therapy, with my son, I didn't have to get therapy, but with my daughter, she was 40, I did, you
Okay.
know. So, and I guess because he stayed with him, that that made a big difference, because he was, you know, he helped my son, even though he shot him. Who do you know kill someone, shoot someone, and call for help?
Right. And then you know that he was there, he had someone there with him when he passed. He didn't pass
Right,
alone.
right.
I
Yeah,
think that
even though
helps
he
too. Do you think?
Yeah,
so
that was a really good thing that the person did, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't
right.
even thought about it. They would have just left him there. So that was God guiding him, like, you need to stay
Me
here.
know um that it also let me know that the guy cared for my son. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because he didn't, he could have just gotten his car, even though it was at his grandmother's house. He could have just gotten it, because from my understanding, it wasn't anybody out there but him and my son.
Okay.
So, he could have gotten his car and just left my son just to die right there in that driveway by himself.
That's true. That's definitely true. Do you think that helped you to cope better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's the
I
guy
got
now?
he's in jail. He's well, November the 17th will be 7 years that my son be gone. And I think he got 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was facing 25, 24, but my heart couldn't let me. I knew the guy. You know what I'm saying? I knew the young
Yes.
man. Even though he was a scary drug dealer, dope boy, whatever, quote, whatever you want to call him. When he stayed there with my son and called 911 for my son, that told me a lot about his character. You
Exactly.
know, and also it told me a lot about how much he cared about my son.
So was it something that you were able to say or do that made them give him some leniency?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
I,
Because like I said, he was facing 24 years, but I don't. I mean, I can't say I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that's the reason why I asked for leniency for
okay.
him. You know, because again, who do you know shoot someone? At the time, I'm not for sure if he knew that my son had died. No, I know he didn't, because the detective said that he was saying, kept saying what had lied about what was going on. And
Okay.
then once they told me that, they said once they told him that my son died, they said he sounded like he had died inside himself. Yeah, they said he
Okay.
cried that hard.
So he
So
had
yeah,
remorse.
yes, yes,
And see, that's, I think, one of the things that make my son D'Amico's death hard for me is because I do not feel like the young man had any remorse. And I also feel like he didn't really serve any time for my son's death. He got 10 years, ran consecutive with a robbery case that he was already in jail for. So it's like he really didn't get any additional time for what he done to my son. And that bothers me. And the DA's office, when they reached out to me and they were like, okay, we can send you some papers so you can be there for his parole hearings and things like that. I was so angry that to this day, I don't even know what I did with those papers. But now I have come to the point where I'm going to reach back out to them, ask for those papers, and make sure that I'm there for that parole hearing to still continue to try to get some kind of justice and make him do some additional years outside of those 10 years for my son.
So I seen your son case on First 48. So when does the young gentleman go up for parole for your son?
They have not given me a date. I have to reach back out to them and actually turn the packet in because I did not do so at that time. I basically threw the papers, didn't want anything else to do with it out of anger and frustration of the time that was given or time not given in my eyesight.
Right. And I mean, that's understandable, and my heart goes out to the both of you young ladies,
You as well.
And
You as well. Thank you.
it was like, I felt like for a long time, I didn't want to tell my son's story
Okay.
because of mothers or parents, kids' murders has not been solved. You know what I'm saying? And it was, I mean, because I know how it feels to have lost a child of gun violence. So, and I deal with a lady here in Cincinnati. Her name is Mrs. Hope Dudley.
Okay.
Her son was also murdered some years ago at this club they had in Roselawn, and his murder had never been solved. But she always invite me to events that she's having, and it was so hard for me for a while to tell my son's story because of that.
Right.
And then this one young lady that was at that event that she had told me to tell my son's story because it helped her. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that her daughter's murder can be solved. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And it's amazing how we'll do things with other people in mind, even before ourselves, after dealing with something so painful.
Yes.
It's amazing. Valerie's actually a close family friend. She's been in our family since I was a little girl, since I was young. I'm not telling my age, so I'm not saying how many years, but for a very long time. And I actually wrote a book the day they took my son. And I also tell Valerie's son, Adoniyah's story in that book as well, with D'Amico's and two other young men. I didn't know Erica at that time. If I would have, Jalen would have certainly been in there as well. But I hate that we actually share this loss.
Yes, it hurts. I mean, people be like, well, at least you get closure. The book will
What
never be closed.
closure? Where? There's no
Like I
closure.
said, the book can never be closed.
That's right.
Because the book will never be closed because I can't bring my son back. So that'll never be a closed book for me. But you do with me, I do with God. If it wasn't for God, I'd be a lost chicken.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
The pain will always be there. Like now, like I said, next month, the 17th was yesterday, then I have to relive. It's so much reliving. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the same house. I go by where he was murdered basically every day,
Wow.
And then it's like, in between my daughter passing, my brother got killed.
Oh my gosh.
So I have a lot of tragedies
Definitely. That's what I was saying. Like, it's 2024, and starting January the 3rd up until last month, I've lost 7 people close in my family.
That's crazy. In
From-
between 2015 until now, 2024, I have lost 11
Oh
immediate family
man.
from like first cousin, like my oldest daughter,
Yes.
her grandmother just passed. Last month, my first cousin just passed. Yeah, so it hurts, and people. I always thought that people could understand if you have children, what it feel, what it felt like, or maybe felt like to lose a child,
No.
and they don't.
No,
They
they
don't.
don't.
No, they don't. They don't understand. They will say, they tend to say the normal thing what people say. I wish I could know what you're feeling, but I don't. But I'm here for you. But like, what is some of your coping methods?
Prayer. My biggest coping method, like I said, is prayer. You know what I'm saying? Um, my I don't have, like I said, I just lost a daughter, so I only really have 3 daughters left. And prayer changes things.
It
I
does.
really can't say I have a coping mech, but again, I find myself getting more release by keeping my son memory alive, because it's
That's
like,
right.
I don't know what it is with the stigmatism with our black men. The first thing when they die or get murdered, they either sold drugs,
Gang
did
related.
somebody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first.
Right.
No, my son. And it was crazy because when they did the investigation for my son, they was like, Miss Bell, where have y'all lived at all your life? I was like, here. I'm from Lincoln Heights. And they was like, we could not have found anybody that said anything bad about your son.
That's what they
I
told me
said,
about
I know.
D'Amico.
I said, I know. My son had a job. He didn't have any children. He was still in school. You know, don't, but that's society. Society has made it to where you have to be doing, when you get killed, you got to be doing something wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
just like my son, he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well,
Trying to get a ride up the hill to his sister's house, So,
we really appreciate you coming on and telling Adoniyah's story. We also have an episode where Valerie tells the story of her daughter, Valerie Jr. We do appreciate you.
Yes.
You have always been there. Anything I have asked of you or anything, you always say, well, what you need me to do? Well, what time? Well, where?
because we know, you know what I'm saying? And if any way I can help someone, and it's crazy because that you said that, I reach out to people. I don't watch the news since my son got killed,
Okay.
I still have a friend, dear Brittany Harry with Fox 19 News, and she still keeps, basically ever since my son passed, everybody is like my family, Woodlawn, uh, Woodlawn Fire Department and EMTs,
Okay.
Lincoln Heights Sheriff Department. Anything that I give my son to this day, they come out.
That's good.
And now they have even started helping me with my daughter's children, and it's just, and so that's why I just thank God, because I feel like that this, even though it was a tragedy that happened, it brought positive to my life,
That's good.
and that's what a lot of things that I had to start looking at. I had to start looking at positive out of the negativity.
Out of the negative.
Like, to me, like I was saying, to me, the worst place a person can get killed is a shot in the face or the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's like, when my son got killed, he got shot with a 45 hollow point. And those tear you up in the inside. It didn't tear my son up. I think it went in center mass. It broke his ribs. It pierced his heart.
Wow. Oh,
You know,
same thing as
right.
D'Amico.
So,
Pierced his heart.
yeah, I mean, it's just so much. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for. I didn't have to. And like I said again, my heart goes out to people and that haven't been solved. And I said, I go to Mrs. Dudley events, and the police officer, she have officers there, corners, and they said the majority of the time they know who the killers are. It's just people don't want to say
Won't
anything.
step up and say anything.
That's snitching. But until it happened to you,
exactly. Yeah. That's right.
That's
until
when
it
they feel
happened
it.
to you, because
Right.
like I was saying before, I reached out to the lady. Her son, Jessica, got murdered. I want to say Monday or Tuesday.
Oh man.
And it was so ironic because she had 5 children and her son was it was her baby boy just as well as mine. So she has 4 girls and a boy. And I just told Brittany, give her my number, because I wish I didn't have a Tamika or Erica, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that. Oh, well, I take that a lot back. I did have a Tamika, but I didn't have a lot of people to experience what I went through, except Tamika. You know what I'm saying? So I just told, Brittany, just give her my number. Just tell her if she need it. You know what I'm saying? Because you would just be amazed at how many people don't know the feeling.
Right. And we lost our children 1 month apart from each other, almost 1 month and maybe 2 weeks.
Yep.
D'Amico's was October the 1st of 2017, and Adoniyah's was November 17th?
November 17th of 2017. Yep.
That's right.
And it's just, So, Erica, if you don't mind me, what happened with your son?
He was in a car accident. His best friend was driving, and he was doing 93 in a 55. And the car flipped over. Well, he hit something, lost control, and instead of him letting the car do what it do, he decided to turn the wheel. So with him turning the wheel, that made the car flip like about 3-4 times, and it hit the tree, so it did like the ripple effect. So my son was actually alive when all this was going on. And you see like how the guy stayed with your son? This boy, he kicked the window out, and he didn't even go back to sit with my son till the fire department, because they had to do the jaws of life on my son. He was on the road. I felt if he was there talking to my son would have been more aware and probably more conscious.
Wow. So did they charge him?
Yeah, there's a legal case going on right now.
Yeah, so that's why she really can't speak to that part of it, because of legal ramifications or whatnot. But definitely, we will love to hear Nisi's story, Valerie's daughter.
You know what? I'm sorry but you know what? And also, these 911 operators,
They're the
need
worst.
a lot. Oh. So, like I said, when my son, got killed, I had to go to the prosecutor's office. Tamika, I'm not know if you're familiar with that part of it,
I'm not.
And so me and my daughters went down there, and they let us hear the 911 tape.
Oh, man. Yeah, I bet. They put you on hold down here in Georgia, so we know. They put you on hold.
On hold?
911 puts you on hold.
You call 911, they be like, 911, hold please.
Yes.
Wow. And them operators, I
You're
mean,
just gonna have to stop it.
oh my God, y'all. If y'all could have just heard the guy trying to get them, and you just think, the funny part about it is, I live a block from where my son was murdered. Where he was murdered at, a block over is the police station. And if I
Oh
tell
gosh.
y'all, the guy couldn't have tried to get the police over there no quicker if he ran to him himself.
Okay.
And the 911 operator was so nasty,
Oh my gosh.
That's
and it's
crazy.
like, y'all, when somebody get shot, get there. Send the people before you get to asking all the thousands of questions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But like I said again, Tamika, I want to thank you for inviting me on this, letting me share my son's story.
Definitely.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure. And we're going to have everybody like, share the stories, and just keep their name alive.